Andrea, it is time to go into the second installment of Fixer Upper and see what's going on with Jewel. And are we going to get any Jewel songs in this one? Because you know I love me some Jewel. But we also have a mystery to go along with it. So what do you say we discuss it?
Sounds good.
Well, this is Eric.
And this is Andrea.
And this is Hallmark Mysteries
And
more.
This podcast was created by fans for fans and is not affiliated with or sponsored by Hallmark or the Hallmark channel.
All right. Well,
before we go, I want to go to the conspiracy corner.
Oh, geez.
You got a moment with me?
I don't know.
Did you notice that Mystery Island is airing on the Hallmark channel as well as Hallmark Mystery this Thursday?
I did not. What?
So it's on both channels on Thursday.
Interesting.
Yes. So here's my conspiracy corner.
Huh.
Is Hallmark setting up to consolidate to one channel?
Network.
We got the Thursdays. Get rid of I don't even know what that drama one or whatever that third one is. I don't think I've ever actually watched it because I believe it just shows Little House on the Prairie. But are they going to get rid of the Mystery Channel and just have the one and then plus?
That's interesting.
It seems like it makes sense from a business standpoint because it's expensive to run networks, right?
Yeah.
And consolidate. Makes sense, but...
That is interesting. I mean, I don't know if they really need two channels. Like, I feel like
right.
If you're going to watch the mystery, you're going to watch the mystery no matter what it's on. And also, I know Hallmark Mystery, I don't think comes with every cable package, or it didn't used to.
Correct.
And so that way people who maybe would be invested in mysteries could do it if they have if you still have cable, because at the end of the day, I don't know how many people that's how they watch TV now. I really don't know.
Well, with the number of people who complain about paying for Plus because they have to pay for cable, I'm thinking most Hallmark people do. I don't know.
I feel like that's a certain percentage. I don't know if that's I bet that's maybe 25%, and I bet 75% are probably finding it elsewhere. Because again, whenever I just kind of glance through, typically it's on Facebook, where if I look through the Hallmark, I usually go to their page and I just kind of see the barometer of how people are enjoying the movie. And I'm like, okay, usually if the people on Facebook are enjoying it, I typically am not enjoying it, and vice versa. When they hate it, it's one that I tend to enjoy. So there tends to be a type on different platforms. And Instagram, it's usually the flip of what Facebook has. So again, you just kind of have to know where your audience is. And my guess is probably Instagram might be maybe a younger demographic that would be commenting there, and maybe older demographic on Hallmark, and they have just the way that they prefer Hallmark movies to be. So I don't know. That's also interesting to see. Like my family, like my mom would not do a Hallmark Plus. You know, she likes Hallmark, but she's not that invested in Hallmark. But she also wouldn't be one to talk about Hallmark movies anywhere. Like she just didn't care that much.
And they're bringing the Hallmark Plus now. Aurora Teagarden is coming out finally on the channel. So they're bringing that. But here's the only thing.
And Chicken Sisters, we had talked. Yeah, right. Chicken Sisters, I think, is coming to Hallmark channel as well, rather than just on Hallmark Plus, which is also going to be interesting because there are some racy scenes and there is some interesting stuff that Hallmark has never shown, and that's going to be on actual Hallmark. I think that will be an interesting commentary from people, would be my guess.
The other thing, though, with consolidating, I think it makes sense from a business standpoint. The one thing from a programming that would have me a little nervous is we do get the marathons on the weekend of our old mysteries, right? I don't know how it seems like if they're going to do a marathon, it would be on a Wednesday or something like that. They wouldn't have that weekend, all 5 episodes, Gourmet Detective.
How often are you watching that, though?
I don't watch the network anymore. I just watch
That's
Plus,
what I'm saying. Yeah. So that's the same as me. If I want a marathon, I do my own.
Me personally, it does not affect. But correct. I think a lot of the Hallmark viewers who are older are probably still on linear TV. So, all right. The other thing is, The new mysteries. When are we getting the next Curious Cater? They said it's coming, and now it's pushed back to who knows. There's another Hannah. They did two. We know that. When's that next Hannah? No idea.
I
They're
just heard
filming,
an Andrew Walker interview, and he had said there is no news on Curious Cater.
but
Like,
they've
period.
done them, is my
Yeah, I know.
understanding.
Period. He said he knows nothing. So it's kind of on, I don't know if that means it's on pause or what's happening there.
Yeah. So
So
what's going on there,
I
right?
don't
Maybe
know.
they're trying to figure out the network.
Yeah.
True Justice, we know we're getting two more of those. Haunted Harmony, two, maybe three, because looking at how long their filming schedule is.
Nellie
And
knows.
then we know that there's more Mr. Island, but no
And
idea
Nellie
when.
knows as well.
Oh, right, and Nellie knows.
Yeah.
So it seems like we have a whole bunch of continuations, which is something we had complained about. So, but when are they going to happen? And are they all going to be this simulcast now with the network? So there
I
we
mean, you're
go.
not going to spend all that money and not air something, right? Like that just
I
seems
would
silly.
think. I would
So,
think.
yeah.
But there you go. There's a conspiracy corner for you.
I don't know if it's conspiracy. I think it's speculation. Speculation.
That's not nearly as exciting. It's
Well, it's not.
2025. Come on, we
It's
have
not
a
a
conspiracy corner.
conspiracy. It's a speculation.
Well, getting rid of the network.
Yes.
That's my conspiracy.
Okay.
All right.
That's your speculation. So when we're coming now, we'll make our way back to 2017. So this movie originally aired in April 2017, whereas the first one aired in January 2017. The third one aired in March 2018, so a year later. So if you kind of put all of those into frame of reference, when Mac, now this description, again, I got it off the app, so I did not get it off IMDb. It says Shannon's new boo. So I didn't realize that they were boyfriend, girlfriend. That's according to the app. First moved
I
to
missed that,
Lighthouse
but
Cove. I know, same. He bought the historic lighthouse mansion that the town is named after. During renovation demolition, the bones of a teenage girl who went missing 15 years ago were discovered. So that is the premise for this one. And
wait, it says
overall,
15 years?
that's what it says.
Interesting. Because watching it, oh, now I have to go back again. I thought they alluded to it being 20 years, but so it's like late 90s and this is 2017. So, which would make it,
I mean, almost in between 15 and 20.
yeah. But we know Hallmark and their descriptions are never their best.
Yeah.
So I think
No.
it's 20 years if you actually do the math from the show.
Yeah, and
But
based on the actors' ages, yeah. So for myself, overall enjoyment, I actually enjoy this the most, I think. I gave it 4 out of 5. This movie gave me major I peaked in high school vibes. That's all what I kept thinking as I'm watching this is like all of the characters like I peaked in high school. That opening scene.
other than Lily.
Well, that's opening scene of this movie, I think is super scary for a Hallmark movie. Like watching that, I'm like, that's intense. Like I think I remember seeing this one and even the third one because I started watching the third one because I actually can't remember anything that I think I've only seen that third one time because I don't remember anything about it. As I started to rewatch it, I'm 20 minutes in and I'm like, I don't have a clue about this movie. And watching that opening scene also just as scary. So I wonder if that was a vibe that Fixer Upper was going for. Like it's just a different, I guess, type. I mean, none of them, as I'm thinking through them, are really that scary. I mean, there's some like scenes that you're like, ooh, but this was like a spooky scary. Another Jewel song, of course. They somehow, incorporated that in there. They found that journal behind a mirror in that house they're renovating. But how is the mirror still there? Like, wouldn't you have gutted that out? You also have the journal in the rocking horse, which I'm like, how did you just leave random items in this home and it's been empty? Has there someone lived in there? How? Like, that's major questions there. And like a mirror, a back of a mirror, that's an easy find. Like, one, how did the police not find that? Because that's you would check, right? And
you
it
have
would be
seen
taped there.
Tommy do his investigating.
Not the
Actually, Tommy
not the
wasn't
most
a
thorough.
police. They weren't back
Woo!
then doing the original one, but yeah.
So that there are some questions there, like some definitely like, ooh, I don't know if that actually all clocked out. I think that the supporting characters around Jewel helped elevate this movie for me because then there was stronger dialogue, I felt. There was longer kind of scenes between characters. I will talk about it later for my character corner, who I thought definitely was the carrier of this movie. We got a lot of construction in this movie. So it definitely lived up to the fixer upper title. A lot of construction. Also, a lot of construction in that third one. We really hit the construction sites hard. But I just wonder in general how this house, how is it still in good shape? And then in my notes, I put for being 20 years old or having been 20 years ago. So maybe that first description on the app is not accurate because they must have said 20 years. So I think you are right there. But overall, again, I just got a lot of I peaked in high school vibes from some of these characters, and just like the, hey, 20 years ago, remember we throw the football around, I'm the big football star, and I still got my football picture of me on my van. Like, no, that's no, from being in a small town, that is not the person that you're like, I want to do business with you because you were good 20 years ago on that high school football
Unless
team.
they're all the same thing and they're like, yeah, but I don't know.
No. Yes. So what about you? What did you think?
So for me, I actually like this one less, and I'm
Ooh,
giving it a 3.
okay.
And it mostly gets down to kind of where you, and when we talk about the mystery, we'll get into it. Like the actual mystery and, well, the actual
Mhm.
core mystery was interesting, but like the clues and things like that to me were a little bit on the ridiculous. Um,
Yeah.
so I didn't like that. I really do think that Jewel and Colin Ferguson really do have good chemistry together. I like them together. They're little, well, you said like, oh, it's her beau, but they went on a kind of date where he was, I like the way you bite your lip, a little sexy there, but I wouldn't put them in the, hey, we're hot and heavy type category because they get interrupted, which I thought was great by here's your coffee, which so often when you have that, moment in Hallmark movies, their interruptions are so silly forced, where that is actually quite realistic of like, hey, we're getting all this, and then the waiter, completely clueless, comes up and ruins the moment. That was kind of fun. Uh, like you said, it had that whole, um, yeah, I was the high school quarterback, and I'm basically a loser now who hasn't accomplished much. We talked about, earlier this week, the way home and looking back, looking forward, being stuck in past, right? That's that this movie could use a little time travel for that too, because a
Yeah.
lot of decisions made 20 years ago and where they've gone since probably should do some things a little differently. I found it quite funny though, the way Mac, whenever Colin, I think was his name, wasn't it? Who is the suspect? Cliff, I think. The guy who's the quarterback. I forget what his
Yeah.
name was.
I think it was Cliff.
Cliff. But I like the way whenever he's talking to him. So, what'd you have for breakfast? By the way, 20 years ago, what did you do with Lily on that day? It seemed like, 4 hours. His interrogation of trying to be sly and asking questions left a little bit to be desired. So I found that a little bit crazy. But I did like the going through the renovation and like the whole, you know, oh, this dumbwaiter thing is all, uh, stuck and then crashing and what all came to. So I thought it was all okay. And like I said, mostly for me, what I enjoyed was I enjoyed the characters. I didn't enjoy the mystery investigation at all, which in this one is a major thing of the movie, right? That's what we watch is them unfolding the mystery. And we'll get that, I guess, the mystery minute.
Well, Mystery Minute for me, I forgot who did this one. So as I'm watching, I was like, oh, that's fun. I did not see that suspect coming. And I thought that like the ending scene with like him climbing out of the dumbwaiter, I really enjoyed that. Like I did
Hey,
not see
what?
that coming. What you did it? I love that. I
It
love
was
it.
comical, him like
I
popping
love
up on the dumbwaiter.
I thought that was
I
so
got my little
good.
gun, which by the way, you can see there's no bullets in it.
Oh,
But
that was part of my trivia. Eric, you ruined
I'm
there. That
sorry.
was one of my trivias. So thank you, Eric, for spoiling that. But yes, the I thought that was a fun scene because I didn't see it coming. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh, they're all good to go. He's trapped down in the basement. Nope, here he comes up the dumbwaiter, and there he surprises us all and just
And
obviously
exactly how did he get up that dumbwaiter?
I don't know, Eric. We have to suspend a lot of belief
And
with this
it was like
one.
it was just his little head sticking up
I
with the gun,
know.
like, gotcha, I'm a little evil man.
We have to suspend some belief with this one because it's. I, on the other hand, actually really enjoyed a lot of the scenes that they did to try to find this and solve the mystery. So you did not enjoy them. That's the part of
Yeah.
this one that I did enjoy. We went to a lot of different places. We got to live a lot of people's high school best days, which I found amusing, I guess. Entertaining slash amusing. And so for me, that worked. For you, it didn't. So what about the final mystery minute for you?
Yeah, for me, I found it like just kind of silly at the end. Like once again, he shoots Brad in the leg, right, as
Yep.
they
Yep.
struggle. And then he's just like, okay, I'm gonna dunk you and with the gun and then go run after Jewel, who runs into a basement. Who runs into a basement trying to flee? Right? This is not some slasher teenage movie, whatever. You don't run to the basement, which the one place you cannot escape from. So I found that kind of whatever. Come on, Jewel, you're smarter than that. You run outside, but why does he not like shoot Brad if he's really going around going to say, okay, I'm going to kill all these people? I'm going to instead just leave him to be. I guess we do really looked at the dumbwaiter thing 100%. I found like I actually laughed when I saw his head pop up
I mean,
because
I did too. I found it
it seemed
amusing.
cartoony.
It was funny.
Yes. But it's funny you say that because, like I say, I did watch these within the last year, and
I did
somehow
not.
I didn't remember either. I was convinced that it was Brad. I was like, okay, as soon as it was happening, like, oh, it's Brad or Denise. It's one of the two of them. I know it's spoilers, by the way. Again, we're
I
the
mean,
leaders
it's
of
old.
spoilers.
Like it's
It's old,
almost
I know.
10 years old. So yeah.
But I was like, I totally was like, okay, I know there's the twist is like they are doing something and their shenanigans. I liked, I did like the sort of the unrolling of it was, hey, we've been cheating for 20 years and things like that. But I just found it, like I say, I don't know. And like I say, Mac was just silly with his investigating and so obvious of what we're doing. The police are. Actually, well, I guess Colin was pretty good because he came in, not the Colin, the police chief Colin. We have two Collins to make it difficult. Colin Lawrence, that's his last name, right?
Yep.
Like came in and, hey, we found in your background, Denise, you were, had this thing of a violence, and so you're now a suspect. But at the end of the day, too, Brad and Denise, like their teachers or counselors, athletic directors, they're clearly out of a job, if not in jail, both of
Oh
them.
yeah.
So forget just the killer. Those two are like there's three people off to jail in this episode, which I don't think we're supposed to think. I think we're supposed to at the end, like, oh, I'm so happy you're okay, love, smoochy, smoochy, smoochy. But you know, now we're in the slammer for like 5 to 10 each. But
I didn't think about that. Didn't want to think about that. Well, romance, as you had said, I actually did feel the chemistry building a little bit more in this movie. And then having watched the first 20 of the next one, I'm like, okay, you can kind of see like some chemistry there, which again, we'll circle
some,
to.
that's
Yeah,
like,
I don't think it's like a smoking hot, you
but
know,
they're very comfortable. And that date
it's like
scene
a
was
cute thing.
the date scene.
It's a cute thing. I don't know.
uh,
What about you?
I just said it. Like I think they're great together. I think but it's funny because they seem like they just quickly evolved into. I guess that's why Hallmark and whoever wrote their little description thinks they're, you know, his beau. But they very quickly, I think, got into a very comfortable, not a hey, we're starting to date mode, like we're very comfortable. We're in our like fifth year of our relationship
Which is
vibe is
interesting
what I get.
because they take so long for most mysteries, but somehow Fixer Upper, you're like, let's just throw them together. Movie 2, let's go. Actually, kind of at the end of movie 1, you're like,
Yeah.
whoa, that was fast. And then everyone else is like super slow. Let's drag this on. So
Yeah.
I don't know why they chose that, but
And,
interesting.
and then like when we talked to John Christian Plummer, that's kind of what he said. He's like, I want that relationship early on. It's kind of annoys that I have to wait and build it
Yeah.
because you should be if you're going to get them going and get them
Yeah.
going early. So I think they're cute together. I think they fit together. I think it's great.
Well, for Character Corner, I am picking the other Colin this week, Colin Ferguson. I thought he carried the movie. I thought he had great energy. I do think he carried the scenes with Jewel. So I think he had, if you listen to their dialogue back and forth, he had more to say and more going on. Yeah, like I think for movie 3, though, I do see an improvement. Again, maybe it was like, hey, I went to some acting classes in between in that year break because there is some I already noticed like the first 20 minutes of this third movie. I'm like, oh, okay, she's got some more longer dialogue.
Wait till my
So,
trivia.
oh boy, oh gosh, I know I'm scared. So for me, again, Colin was the hit. I enjoyed him. I could have picked the other Colin as well because he had a little bit more to do in this movie, but that was it. What about you?
So mine is kind of an interesting one. Denise was played by Jen McLean Angus, and her role I thought was pretty good. I loved when they were sitting in the floor and she's saying, "Oh, I had a fight with her, but it was about a costume." I thought she did her role absolutely fantastic. I liked her throughout, and at the end, she's like, "No, I love my husband. Brad wouldn't do that." Like I thought she was a great character in it. But the whole time, I was like, this is just teed up for our good friend April Tulloch. Like
Yeah,
it is her role, right? That's who what she shines in is in that type role. And I kept thinking, and I had a couple moments because she kind of looks a little like her too. Where I was like, I looked it up. I'm
is
like, wait,
that
is this April
her?
looking like a little bit different? I'm like, no, no, it's not. So, but I thought that from all the like I don't know if I'm being harsh, but the high school losers who were in this, like I say, the people who didn't really go beyond that, she was a character who I thought really showed some depth to her. So I liked her a lot, and she did a fantastic job, even if she wasn't April. Maybe
Well,
she's friends with April. I'll have to find out if April knows her.
well, Hallmark trivia. So we talked about the revolver not actually being loaded.
They
Jewel had
show, but they see that they showed it like you could see right in there, and you see all these empty, like at least be on a little bit of an angle. Or that was what was funny is they kept showing it straight on where you saw emptiness, and I don't notice things like that. So,
I didn't. This is all from IMDb.
oh,
These are my.
IMDb's okay.
Do you think I noticed that? No. Jewel was also executive producer of this one. The plot for this one is taking from the third book called Crowned and Moldering in the Fixer Upper series. And then Jewel's song The Raven is from her Lullaby album that was briefly heard in this movie as well. So those are my trivia.
That was during the when they did the video montage of Lily, and
Yes.
they showed or they included that song in it, which is
Yeah.
kind of funny. Why, you know, give me some Jewel and I'll love it. But I found it kind of funny because they put that song in, and if you go back to episode 1, when Jewel sings at the thing, clearly it's the same person singing, but I don't think people obviously.
I think people knew. I mean, if you know Jewel,
Oh no, no, no,
you
you
know her
do
from
that.
music.
I'm talking that it's not supposed to be Jewel, but it sounds exactly
Oh,
like Jewel
oh,
singing,
yeah,
right? So
yeah.
I find it why I love it, but it is funny that it's like, oh,
Of course, it's going to be
clearly
her.
this is
Yes,
Shannon Hughes.
yes.
So mine, and you're talking about the acting, is John Cassini, who is one of the producers, who's also in the final episode. He acts in that one. I was just chatting with him about it, and he said he was also Jewel's acting coach, and so he
Ah,
was working on with her
funny.
through the series to work on her acting. So as you're saying how it's improving, he was spending the time not just producing,
Really?
but working
I
on
noticed. I know.
there. So it'll be interesting to see how she is in the third, and so we'll see how good John is,
Yeah.
not just as a producer, and not as an actor, but also as an
Acting
acting coach.
coach.
So we look at Jules
I noticed
acting
already. So I will give them
there.
kudos there. 20 minutes in, I already noticed. I was like, oh, they're giving her some meteor stuff. So
I never thought she was. I was always like impressed that for a singer, I thought Jewel was pretty good right from the get go. So I haven't had that, but I will admit, like my wife, when she saw what I was watching, she's like, Jewel, really? I'm like, hells yes. So I may be a little blind. It's kind of like, put Lee on there, put Jewel on there, and I'm a little blinded. So
well, Hallmark and Chill. So this reminded me of the Aurora Teagarden, Haunted by Murder. Looks like it's the same house. And then they had similar teenage flashback murder situations happening to present day. That was one with Candace's daughter was in this one. And so that one kind of reminded me of it. And then, of course, taking us to Murder, She Wrote, October 6th, 1985. Episode 2 of season 2, Joshua Peabody died here, ... Possibly. A cheap tycoon
possibly
with many enemies is found dead on the construction site of his high-rise hotel. And so this one is a Cabot Cove episode. I actually really enjoy this one. I remember it.
Wait. There's a high rise in Cabot Cove?
Well, you just have to watch the episode. No spoilers.
Okay.
40 years. 40 years. No spoiler in my 40 years. We will spoil it if it's 10 years, but if it's 40, no spoilers here. Got to watch that episode and find out. So I would recommend this episode. So if you do like A Little Murder, She Wrote, this is with Amos Tupper as the sheriff. And so if you like Tom Bosley, he is in this one. So I do recommend this episode. It's fun.
I thought you were going to go to mine, which is a Hannah Swenson carrot cake, where they find the bones in the bottom of the elevator shaft from the similar thing. So it's got a similar type, premise and all of that. I have not seen that Aurora Teagarden, so I could not speak to that. But
we have lots of Aurora to explore, Eric.
We do, and it all starts with Skylar. The basic premise of it being, a mistake you made 20 years earlier. I forget how much earlier the one was in Hannah. But,
yeah, that was the one where the guy didn't add up math-wise. You're like, you're not that math ain't math in here.
Yeah. I pulled off this murder when I was 4 years old.
Yeah.
And carried the body and threw it down the shaft. But, basically a similar type thing. So if you like this one, you'll probably like that one. That's also the one where we get the big Hannah Mike relationship explosion, which I stand on my island. No. I'm all team Hannah on that. So you could definitely get a little drama on that one, which I know we disagree.
Yes. Well, next week we get a new mystery. So we're going to dive into Mystery Island, Winner Takes All. So again, reminder that releases this Thursday on Hallmark Channel. And then Friday it will be on
Hallmark Channel Plus. And Hallmark Mystery Channel.
Yes, you can find it either way, and then Hallmark Plus on Friday. And then we will dive into the last fixer-upper, Deadly Deed, not Deadly Dead, the following week. And so maybe you've already watched that one. We will definitely take that on at the end to complete our fixer-upper, because there is only 3 movies in that series. And then maybe we'll do a little poll about what we want to do next. If we want to do an Emma Fielding, or maybe make Eric watch an old Aurora, which I really want him to do, or maybe even just dive into some more Murder, She Wrote, because that actually got some good votes. So we'll see.
If we do the Aurora, we probably should do Julia's House, which everyone seems to say is the best one.
That's the one that I like, but that's not what got the win last time.
I know, but everyone has always said to me that's the best one.
Yeah, that's the one I really like too. So I wouldn't mind diving into that one. All right.
We do have Peter Benson, so
yes.
he talks this a little Aurora.
Interview coming out this week with Peter Benson. So sounds good.
All right. Go get your yoga on. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.